for you, how are you different in your mind off camera when people meet you versus what you would expect?
I have to say, bro, that I'm just pretty fucked in the head, bro.
I really wanted to ask you this, Joe. Really, how much pressure do you feel from social media to kind of have to look the way you do? Like, how much pressure, social media influences everyone. Like, do you feel like you need to be this lean? Like, because you obviously are putting in the work and you suffer a fair bit with whether you're drinking a lot of coffee or ways to stay really lean. How much pressure do you feel to look how you look right now? And what would happen if you just kind of like let yourself go? Could you do that? Like mentally, talk to me about the mental aspect, like emotionally, mentally, how do you deal with all that?
Let's say I could myself, but let's say I personally, I don't like my big cheeks. Even right now, I'm eating a bit more. And it's not only about that. It's me then trying to just chill a bit, bro. Then let's say I upload a picture where I'm a bit out of shape. And then people, they are attacking you. Oh my God, you're out of shape. You stop using trend. Oh my God, what happened to him? Like, oh my God, look at him. Oh my God, what happened to him? Like, just chill, man. I'm just human. Maybe I just want to take a vacation for like 2 weeks where I don't work out, where I don't exercise and I don't do cardio. And then you just can't look like this. People, they don't understand. You can only look like this, like the way I do, if you nonstop do all that crazy work and cardio and everything on point. That's the only way. If you stop doing this, you will look worse. Which I then, let's say I do this, I look a bit worse right now, and then people immediately start to attack you. Oh my God, see? And then, and that is the most biggest brain fuck. People also, they're just thinking when they text me a message or even you, that that we influence them. Like what I say is influencing millions of people. But did millions of people also think about what they're texting us? When I read that shit, that I maybe also get hurt and, like maybe I take a hit in my brain or like my ego and all that stuff. If I'm reading these angry messages from people that don't know you for a single percent, and they just throw out their anger because they also had a bad day, their job fucked them, their wife is unhappy with them, they have another money issues and stuff, and then they come home and then you are just the perfect guy to come at them for like, let me tell you how good you really are, motherfucker. You just look like shit. You take a lot of steroids and now you are fat, so you are a loser. Now I feel much better already. So, wait, ultimately I have to answer the question. Yeah, kind of pressured, man. It's definitely some pressure is there that I, let's say, maintain some decent physique, which leads me to push more YouTube, which I'm trying to do right now, not maybe the English version, but the German version, just to show people even more behind the scenes of me, Joe Aesthetics, because Instagram is just a lot about pictures. Yeah, I'm a funny cunt. Yeah, I'm interesting maybe to watch, my accent and all that stuff, but you couldn't catch that vibe properly when you are just watching my Instagram stuff. And to connect, I realized at one point that it's not about the way you look. People, they like you the way you look, but ultimately there's Justin Bieber or there's some other guys. Best example is I'm walking around here. There's this guy with the selfie stick live streaming, bro. And he's sorry that I say this, it's just a chubby dude with big glasses and black t-shirt and looks pretty normal and pretty average. But he's live streaming and he's a Chinese streamer, bro. And he has like 350,000 people live watching him right now while he walks around in the market and showing that stuff. What I want to say with that is it's not your body and all that stuff doesn't really matter. It's about the person. If you're a dickhead, you're just a dickhead, bro. And it will show, not on pictures, but in videos. That's why you can also find some physiques on Instagram where you see, oh yeah, these guys are an amazing body and they are insanely good in this. But that's it. There's nothing more there. There's no personality, there's no character, and that's why you can only succeed in this thing. And then ultimately, if you would do the YouTube videos and all that stuff, it would show that you are maybe quite boring. So how can I end this then? Yeah, difficult. But people should definitely relax a bit more, okay? And also be less angry and negative on people. But I'm trying to get a bit more fat, right? So then I will obviously come out with another pictures where I'm a bit less in shape, just to get another transition again. I believe the only reason I reached to 7 million followers is because I nonstop kept doing something. One time I have long hair, then I have short hair, then I have blonde hair, then I have white hair, then I have black hair, then I have a beard, then I have a mustache. just keep adjusting. Then I'm in Thailand, then I'm in Dubai, then I'm in Germany. The pictures change, the mood change, the vibe change, and you always have to entertain people. And problem nowadays with social media, people's attention span is so short.
Really good points made, especially at the end there. You said like you have to keep changing. Like no matter how good and exciting or good looking you are, if you're the same, well, how long after 3 months, it's like, okay, we've seen everything you got. On to the next younger, better looking, different person. So you keep mixing it up. That's amazing. I also like what you said. People are so influenced by something I would say or something you would say. I would say I make a video and 1,000 people, that was such a horrible video. You're so rude. How could you call this person out? How could you say this or say that? And they're thinking, okay, that's me. That's one person affecting their life. And you just said, do they forget that there's 1 million people watching us and there's 1,000 comments saying you're a bad person? We have one of us talking to them and 1,000 people coming back. It's harder on us than them.
And it's not only that for them, it's a video which they are watching and they could assume I'm talking about them. But they write a comment which is completely 100% attacking me in every single way they write. They are attacking only me, and that's where it's very personal, you know what I mean? And therefore, I'm an emotional guy, bro. Like I read these messages, I'm like, what? I cannot, like, why? And I don't want to believe, because I'm like, why you say that? You don't know. Then I try to explain myself and try to explain. But the more you try to make someone like you that doesn't like you, the more they hate you anyways.
Absolutely. And the way I see it, and this is what I've done, and it's helped me. I see it as like the WWE, and you have your Andre the Giant and your Hulk Hogan and all your characters. Some are the bad guy and some are the good guy, or some are back and forth. Like I see myself as like, I'm Andre the Giant. Some people love him. Some people hate him. Is he good guy, bad guy? Like it depends on the day. It depends on what you say. And so when people comment, rather than thinking, oh, they're shitting on me or they're saying this about me, it's like they actually cared so much about what I said that they wanted to type something. You're getting a reaction from people. To be able to do that, it's not easy. To have people invested so much in their life that they'll actually watch your video and take time out of the day to say, I hated that video. I don't like what you say. That means it has an impact on their body, their mind, their soul. Like they're just thinking about you all the time. That you can imagine that having a video have that much of an impact on somebody. To me, I take it as a compliment.
That's definitely how you should see it, and in terms of like feedback. And then just don't judge people like I don't do. And then you read the comments and then you just read it and that's it. But in terms of having these guys online, it's much easier to get 1,000 comments from people just real quick, which shit on you, than to say something positive about someone. That's why I would ultimately say, don't ever think about 1 second that you are not doing good, because you help thousands of people changing their life, transforming their bodies, becoming better themselves and finding motivation and all that stuff. While other cunts, while they just write the shit comments, meant like, what did you do? Let's say, there's this one quote, it's like, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank account, blah, blah, blah. It does only matter how many people you move when you say something like that. How many people will, like also your legacy, who will remember you, right? If you just been doing whatever you've been doing. But if you have been inspiring hundreds out, like look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these guys, they will also never be forgotten because they've been inspiring millions. And they help millions and also to find motivation and energy. So it's that you will also do that. And you helped a lot of people. And then there's always jealousy and bad vibes and people being just very negative. And like I said, having a shit job maybe and being upset with their life, coming home and then seeing your face again. And it's just the right thing for them to see. It's like, yeah, let's see what this motherfucker has to say again. And then they hear something they don't want to hear, because oftentimes the truth is also that the truth hurts, bro. People are just this is why you're also doing good in this extent that you say it's not what you want to hear, but what I have to tell you. Is like people, you are more likable if you just say what they want to hear. But then you are just still fat and like nothing will change in your fucking life, because they just like they're just nice guys to you. Yeah, they don't want to be the bad guy, so they keep telling you what you want to hear, but not what you should hear. It's like when you made the example, like she's wearing a dress and it looks awful, but she's like rich, so everyone just licks her ass, while other guys like, yeah, looks like shit. And she's like, hey, how all my other 10 friends tell me it looks so beautiful, and you are just the honest guy or what? While the others, they tell it to your face, yeah, it's beautiful. And then they turn around and then they gossip anyways. So therefore, it's really about becoming a tough guy in this world, also mindset wise and stuff. You need to educate yourself in this way.
Yeah, it's so much easier to tell people nice things and just say what they want to hear. Like, it's harder for me to make some of my videos because I know that people aren't going to like it. If I say, if you don't have any abs, you're fat. Like, if you can't see any outline, you're probably overweight. Most people are overweight. That's not easy to say. Is you can be healthy at any size, any 400 pounds, 500 pounds. Hey, as long as you go for walks, you're good. You're great. The truth is it's not. It's a lie. So I have to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Very hard. My mom used to tell me when I was a kid, she's like, people will remember you not for what you say, but for what you make them feel like. So it's not, they don't remember what did you say? They remember how you made them feel. And so a lot of times I'm going to make them feel shitty because I'm saying, hey, if you're overweight, you're probably going to die younger. If you abuse steroids, you're probably going to die an earlier death. No one wants to hear that. They don't like hearing that, but it's like the truth hurts sometimes. And you have to say that. And my channel is all about calling out the BS. I see things happening and I'm like, hey, they're lying. They're misleading you. They're not being truthful. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but one thing I'm trying to do is be honest. And I always tell you, what do I actually think about this? And I'm not trying to mislead people.
I also believe, let's say there's like people, let's say like me lately, I watch a lot of Jordan Peterson and all these guys and just like mind coaching. So I'm on this, like I'm interested in this. So, right, I'm digging into this. And then I also would find videos where they talk about stuff where I kind of have to look myself in the mirror and start to cry almost because I'm like, oh my God, this is so true. You suck so bad in this extent. But then just face it, man. Then also like when you say, yeah, if maybe you eventually you are fat, then there's a chubby guy sitting at home watching videos, like all of a sudden a tear comes down his cheek because it's like, oh my God, he exposed me. But the truth is, it's just true. And maybe this pain, by taking in this pain, it triggered enough emotional reaction to you to really change. And the problem is that change also hurts. So that's why people are just getting babysitted by just telling them what they want to hear, but not what they should hear, because then life is just more convenient. But eventually you will always stay the same also.
And another thing is we all have flaws. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. And I mean, we might have ideal looking physiques that people want to achieve, but even though we can do it, I'm not saying that everyone should go for that. So even though I'll say, hey, being overweight, it's not good for you. It's not healthy. I don't tell people to try to look like me or to try to look like you. I keep telling people, close your eyes and imagine your dream physique. And then I say, open them up. You're not getting it. Halfway there, that's a realistic goal. So for me, it's all about being a little bit better than you are, like improving yourself, but not thinking you need to be perfect, because if you're striving for perfection, you're never going to get there.
I'm also having issues with that, bro, because I'm such a perfectionist. Like, I need to be number one, man. I need to be the best, man. I'm so critic with my stuff, but see it like this, just put in effort, put in more effort, and then let's see where how far it goes. And also just give yourself time, give yourself chances, and don't be that hard on yourself sometimes in order, like when you say like, yeah, this is my dream physique, and then maybe I'm not going to get it, but I can still achieve something quite decent, which is still worth it. And also ultimately, when it comes to fitness stuff, we are in this sport which probably teaches you discipline like nothing else. And the only thing people they would need more in their life for everything would be the discipline. And that's why they realize, like, hey, it's not that easy. Let's say maybe I can make $1 million on my bank account by working like that, but getting to the body, or I cannot control myself with my food, or I always eat too much, or I do this. Yeah, but see, this is things where you are lacking. You should eventually change that to have a better life in the long run. So now you have to take that pain that you are not disciplined enough in this part, then change it. Try, practice, keep going, and then you will make it, man. And then you will be so proud of yourself. And then eventually also, in the long run, your life goes a different direction because you just learned how to discipline yourself more.
Now, I this a bit off topic, but I really wanted to ask this because you've gotten so popular, famous over the years, and a lot of people would dream to be in your position. But is it all good? Is there bad things about being as famous as you are? Like the negative, like obviously we can't complain about having more money, but like you probably get recognized a lot. Can it be annoying? Do people come up to you and say, I want to flex your alien gains. I want to see that. I need a picture with you and interrupt you. Maybe you're at dinner. Like, is there any of that gets annoying? Is there any struggles that you have? Do people use you for your popularity? Like, how do your friends treat you? Like, what is the good, bad, and the ugly of being at the level you're at, 7 million? Like, what is the pros, the cons of being in your actual shoes?
There's some pros and cons for sure. Yeah, I'm lucky, man, and I say that I'm hiding here in Thailand where no one knows me, and I can just do my thing. I'm just this guy. I'm building up my social media, so I never really get what is it called, in touch with all that stuff that people might know me. Because for me, mainly it was me putting up these videos, getting millions of views, but it's ridiculous amounts of views, like hundreds of millions of people saw my stuff. So how can I imagine I'm traveling around the world and then not a lot of people would know me? But I'm like, oh shit, you know me. Wow, I didn't know. Like, you want a picture with me? Huh? Who am I that you want a picture with me? So I still get that more. But then let's say I stay in Dubai for like 5 weeks again now. And I realized, oh my God, I think too many people, they know me. It's like, I cannot go to the toilet here. Like, too many people, I think they know me. This is not even funny anymore. It's like I walk somewhere and I'm like, hopefully no one knows me. Because let's say I just want to go real quick to here and there. And then maybe you get 10 times you get stopped, or maybe you're just in a fucked up mood. You look messy. I don't know, something is wrong with you, or you have no time, you're in a hurry. And then you would see these 3 fans, they come up to you and say, hey, Joe, can we take a picture real quick? And you say, oh, no, sorry, fuck off, guys, I have no time. And then and then it breaks my heart, bro. Like, every time when I'm a bit negative to like someone who follows me and who comes up to me and I'm like, oh, maybe I have no time, or I'm just in a bad mood or whatever. I'm trying to be as good as possible. But let's say, 2 or 3 times I was saying no to someone taking a picture, and I was almost heartbroken because to see that pain in the eyes of the people, like, really? Okay. And then it's like, you are dead now for me, bro. I was a big fan, but after this experience, I hate you. More like that. And me just being not much in touch with it, I'm like, oh, I'm cool. It's cool being kind of well known. It maybe gets you some stuff. That's cool. But then a lot of people, they want something off your ass. That's also something where you need to be careful, because all of a sudden you will also have a lot of friends, and everyone would be all of a sudden be nice to you. And like, there's all of a sudden people nice to me, which I remember from back in the days, and they would not be nice to me back in the days. And now I meet them and they're so nice to me. And I'm like, bruh, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I still remember you from 2 years ago. Like, why did you now, why you all of a sudden like me? Just because it has something strange, bro. Like, I come inside a bank, let's say, then the guy knows me and he's like, oh my God, this is Joe Aesthetics. Wow, can I take a picture? And then the 3, 4 girls that sit there also working there in the office, right? They don't even know me. They don't know nothing. And then they're like, oh my God, who is this? What? He has 7 million followers. Oh, I also need a picture. You don't even know me, right? It's like somehow like success is interesting for people somehow, looks like, because all of a sudden they're like, oh, let me also take a picture with you. And like, yeah, but you don't even know me, like you don't have nothing to do with it, but you just to say, yeah, I met some guy who has 7 million followers. And I'm like, wow, what the fuck is this world become, bro? Like, in what world can we live with? I'm this guy, like, I'm not watching much content at all, bro. I'm telling you, because I believe it's very toxic. And you need to be careful what you watch online in order to watch the right people, to get the right information. This is basically like what feeds your day. People would be mad and depressed, yeah, because then the algorithm shows them this mad and depressing stuff. And then would be other people, they go on a life mission and improve themselves so much because they keep digging into these coaching videos, or how to change my mindset, how to become blah, blah, blah. And then this does that for them. So you really need to be very selective in order to say what's good for you to watch and what not. Because otherwise you just sit there and you just look like, oh my God, these guys are so good, they look so good, they have everything perfect, and my life is just so shit and everything sucks and I should just worry myself. While we also struggle, we also struggle so much behind the scenes, but social media is just portraying the perfect guy. It's just like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking, like, just because you have a lot of followers or none, you're the exact same person, like exactly the same, whether you have 100 million followers or none. But people don't see you that way. And what people are going to remember is, if you do 100 good things and 1 bad thing, they remember 1 bad thing. They don't remember 100 good things. So anytime, if you get caught cursing someone out or saying anything rude or inappropriate, that one thing you could be the nicest person in the world and you're going to have a bad day, an off day, and say something you regret. And so people they remember that thing. So that is very difficult, I guess, being super popular. And I mean, I talk to my friends and it's like, they're like, well, Greg is kind of famous, but not famous to us. He's just some weirdo guy that's like weird. You know what I mean? Like, and so I had a question. Are you different when you get met in person than people would expect? Like for me, just to give you an example, people run into me and they'll be like, wow, you look a lot like Greg, this coach Greg guy. Do you know who he is? I'm like, yeah, that's me. They're like, what? They're like, it can't be you because you're so calm and you're so quiet. I'm at the gym just working out and I'll have a conversation and they literally come up to me and they think it can't be me because they're like, they expect me to be jumping around, screaming and shouting. And I'm like, that's not my daily life. I don't run around screaming. I sit down, I watch a movie. I like relaxing in a hot tub. Like I'm just to sit around and chat. I like to joke around. Now, if I'm debating with people about something I really believe in, I can get pretty heated and, amped up. But for the most part, I'm just a calm guy that just likes to relax. So for you, how are you different in your mind off camera when people meet you versus what you would expect?
I have to say, brother, I'm just pretty fucked in the head, bro. So if you not catch me in a depressed moment, I'm literally the same guy like right now. And like people when they meet me, 90% it happens, they say, oh my God, you are so much bigger in real life. It happens really. I always don't believe it. Everyone says, oh my God, you're so much bigger in real life. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm like 106 kilogram, 182 is like, I'm not small. So that one thing. And then on the other side, how can I say? I'm always in this mood, kind of like. So mostly people that would catch me, they say, wow, you are in your videos. And I'm like, I think I'm like this because I'm always kind of loud and like they say the same thing like right now, I'm the same. I'm mostly the same. Not if you meet me or catch me in a moment where I'm just fucked up because I was now not eating, did cardio, was working out, did videos, tons of videos maybe went wrong. I had to redo a lot of stuff and I'm just so beyond with everything. And I'm just like dying because I also didn't eat anything. And then in this moment, maybe something goes wrong and I just freak out because I can be a very angry guy as well. Like I can be super angry, but mostly you don't see that. Like I'm so positive and I'm so nice guy, but that's also on the opposite, I can also be the worst guy.
Yeah, I think we all have our like
10%.
Yeah, I think we all have our alter ego. Like I can get really pissed off if I know someone's lying for me or trying to scam me or cheat me out of something. And they're like, and I hate that. That's what would piss me off the most when people are lying about me. But for the most part, I'm pretty easygoing. And it's funny you mentioned you're a lot bigger because I mean, in my mind, I'm picturing you're massive. I'm picturing like you're saying 106 kilograms. So I was thinking you're about 240 pounds and I'm thinking you're about 6'1". That's 182 centimeters, probably about right. And so you're probably exactly the size I picture, which is huge. But when people meet me, they'll also say you're bigger than I expected. And I'm 168 centimeters. They think I'm some kind of short little man, like I'm 5'2". And I'm like, I'm a pro bodybuilder. I have a lot of muscle. So when I go into the gym, I'm usually the biggest guy or one of the biggest guys, even though I'm not that tall, but most people say I'm a lot bigger than they're expecting, especially if I have a pump. But I'm thinking, do they not know I'm a pro bodybuilder? Like I should have muscle.
Oh, no, this is easy to get forgotten, bro. The problem is that all your achievements, they can be so easily to be forgotten tomorrow. No one cares anymore, okay? But the one thing that I just found funny is that you probably get that, like you said, people, they would come to say, yeah, you look a lot like this Coach Greg that I know. And then you're like, yeah, that's me. Because usually people, there's no way that's the guy with white hair is big, the beard and stuff, like it must be Joe, like if you see me walking around, it's almost obvious that it's me. Even though sometimes I think it's not obvious, and then I would even get asked from people if I'm Jake Paul Jake Paul is Jake Paul, yeah, like this YouTuber guy, Logan Paul,
yeah.
Like if I'm Logan Paul, and I'm like, no, but other side, sometimes people come in and they still also ask me like, are you this guy Joe? And I'm like, yeah, hey guy, what's poppin'? Always, let's go take a picture. And then people, they would sometimes just be too nervous. I don't know, you probably also get that. The way that people approaches you is just sometimes weird. It's like, why you not just go there, Brian? You just say, oh, hey, hi, are you Joe? Hi, my name is Anthony. nice to meet you, bro. I'm a big fan, maybe, and can we take a picture? But they would just come there, like with the phone, like this, and a picture. And I'm like, oh, hey, hi, what's your name, bro? Where are you from? Like something like that.
And for me, I'm kind of a shy person and personally. And so like, well, I remember being younger and seeing like famous bodybuilders and knowing who they are and wanting a picture or whatever, and being very shy and nervous to go and talk to them. So I would assume that everyone feel the same way. So oftentimes people come in and talk to me and they're very, very shy. They're shaking their hands and they'll tell you I'm super nervous and they're shaking. And it feels so freaky to me. And I love it when people come in and talk to me, because it's such an honor to have somebody like recognize you and say, hey, I bought your cookbook and I lost all this weight and I love your videos and I've never in my life had one person, and this is over years, come up to me and say something negative ever. So a lot of people probably think, oh, Coach Greg is so bad, this and that. No one ever approaches me and says anything negative. And so do you ever get anyone that comes up to you and says anything negative to your face? They probably type it online, but in person, does anyone ever say anything bad?
Nah, honestly, I've never been getting in touch with someone who doesn't like me, like really doesn't like me. Let's say I would more even have guys that see me around and they don't, let's say they see my Instagram, right? And then they say, a few weeks later, I meet them again. All of a sudden, they come up to me and they say, hey, I'm like, oh, what's up? And they say, you know, I don't like you usually, but now I was watching some of your YouTube videos. And then I realized, like, when I came out with steroids and stuff like that, like, you're not even a liar. Like, let's say that I really liked about you. Like, that got sympathy going somehow. Because, like I said, in Instagram, it's just, yeah, people that would see me shirtless, right? They must assume this guy has such a big ego, is loving himself too much. And like, what not? What else not, right? Like so many things that they assume, which maybe it's just not true. So then when you watch someone's YouTube videos like you, then it's just easier to see like, oh, wow, yeah, the guy's well educated. It's like nice to see also this side of him in order to get a full picture and realize really like, am I liking this person or not? Because like I said, then a guy that doesn't even know you yet, Greg, but I'm telling him about you. And I say, there's this motherfucker, Greg, and he makes these stupid videos, like such bullshit. So then this guy maybe goes up already with his negative mood and energy. And he's like, yeah, okay, let's see Coach Greg. And then he types in one video where he's screaming around. It's like, yeah, this guy is a complete fool, man. Leave a comment, Greg, you're just a stupid fuck. And that's also happening, right? I mean, you cannot do anything about it, but therefore just like be the best version of yourself and try to become the best version of yourself. And then also just try to make yourself more better, more educated, more strong, more in everything that you can do, and just try to work on yourself and ultimately come back to the point. Be careful who you watch and what you watch online, so that you watch maybe guys like me or Greg that give you proper input or feed you things that make you work, that make you go out there and exercise, that get your diet going, and it just like gets you moving. That's the most important thing. Otherwise, you are really wasting your time, even if you are now still watching the video, right? Someone who is still watching this video eventually. If you are watching nonstop nonsense stuff, it's just a waste of time, while you could also watch people like us who help you in some way, educate you, right? And then maybe sometimes, yeah, just pure entertainment also good. But don't look at things online that make you feel less good about you, yourself, and your life.
That's really a great message. Be the best version of yourself and follow those who are going to allow you to do that. Follow people that you think are positive for you. And maybe it isn't me. Maybe for somebody that watches my content, they don't like it. But for the most part, I think 95% of people that watch my channel, they like it. Perhaps they don't like all my videos, but hey, watch the ones that are going to positively impact you.